Firstly, I want to say thank you to every single one of my brothers and sisters, my survivors, fellow thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Thank you so much for helping me to try and get to 2K. We're going to get to 2K. We're going to get 3K, 10K. And I can only do that with your help. Please share out your favorite video, like, dislike, throw a comment in there. I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so very much for being with me on this journey. It's going to be a little bit longer video than usual. This is about what happens to us when we survive and when we thrive and when we get through that abuse. And when we go through narcissistic abuse, you know, that person that lied to us and manipulated us and basically made us dependent upon their abuse. You know, they trained our minds to think in those toxic ways that they did. They trained us to live in fight or flight. They trained us to not value ourselves and to keep thinking that we were fixing that other person. You know, all of the trauma bonding that we went through, that took us off our life path. You know, that psychic vampire, that evil demonic piece of trash, they were sucking the life out of us. They were changing us. They were distorting us. And while we were going through that, there were people that loved us in our lives that walked away. They had to walk away from us because we weren't listening to them. We were so stuck in that trauma. We were so caught up for whatever reason, whatever your personal reasons were. For me, it was wanting to believe in, help, and save someone that I thought could be saved. And I knew had gone through a lot early in her life, and I'd known her for a very long time. And, you know, I wanted to be a white knight. I wanted to be the difference. All the stories she had told me about how she had been abused and what she had gone through in her life, you know, being used as like a pawn, like a sex pawn, like as a young girl, you know, like trapped in a family of white collar criminals. I wanted to be there for her. And the truth of it is, the demons she never overcame, they became a part of her. And then I got trauma bonded and lied to and stuck in that cycle. I lost myself. My family and loved ones had to walk away from me. And my enemies, the ones who always hated on me, hated on my talents, my abilities, they were celebrating. They loved it. It's a big drama fest for them. There's some of them out there that are still celebrating, still trying to, like crabs in a bucket, trying to hold me down, even though since I have recovered and since I have regained my worth and set my boundaries and committed once again to my path of success, my second channel is growing bigger than most of them. And there's a lot of hate going on out there. It is, egos are a difficult thing. I think that ego is one of the reasons why we got trapped up. Maybe, for some of us, got trapped up in that trauma bond and in that cycle with them, with that abuser. You know, egos, when we go through recovery, we have to learn how to put aside the ego, find our true selves, connect with Source, connect with God, find who we are again, our inner strength, so that we can get back on our correct path, our correct life path. And as we do that, this is the tough thing, because as we do that, as we succeed, there are people out there who are your haters and the people that loved you that have their own insecurities and their own damage. I mean, the haters most especially, but even the people that love you, they see you succeeding. They see you get through what should have killed us, what could have killed us, that abuse that we went through. And they see us get stronger. And it affects their ego. At some point, we have to distance ourselves in the beginning when we're healing. We have to go no contact. We have to distance ourselves from everyone else in order to find ourselves again. And then we can emerge. Then we can come back out with stronger boundaries, understanding who we are, what we deserve, what we're not going to put up with no more. And we come off our island and we start interacting with people again. And we are changed. And there is still that stigma of what happened before. We have to understand that. People who have never been through narcissistic abuse do not understand what narcissists or sociopaths or psychopaths can fucking do to you. Because they're evil. They're demonic. And when we survive that, people will see that, and instead of looking at someone who is leading by example, someone who survived and thrived and is succeeding in their lives after going through such tragedy. Instead of looking at that as someone leading by example, they look at it and they judge themselves. And when they look at something like that and they judge themselves, their ego gets in the way. They're going to distance themselves from you. They're going to intentionally not work with you. They're going to intentionally not be around you. Because they feel, because of their own insecurities, they can't deal with your success. They can't deal with your strength. They don't understand it. They don't understand how they don't understand your connection with God. They don't understand your strength that you had before, when you fell, when you were abused, when you came out of it, and when you began to thrive again. Now, for the haters, that's just haters. That's toxic people. Those are just toxic people who they're like crabs in a bucket. They don't want nobody else to succeed but them, and they're going to feed off other people. Just as bad as cluster B cluster fucks. They're just as bad. Toxic people, all of them. The sad part is realizing that that's going to happen with some of the people you love, or people that you've called friend. And maybe some of them don't even realize that they're doing it. Maybe they don't even realize that they're judging themselves by the measure of your success instead of looking at you as an example of someone that can survive and thrive. It's a hard thing. But the most important thing that I've learned, brothers and sisters, is that you got to concentrate on yourself. You got to work on yourself. Some of us fall prey to this type of abuse because we had codependency issues. We need a validation from other people. We're people pleasers. We give ourselves over so they'll make other people feel comfortable because we don't want to lose them in our lives. But then we end up losing ourselves. Don't lose yourself. We can't lose ourselves ever again. You have to worry about you. Do not allow every time there are, whether they're haters or people that you think are friends, no matter who they are, do not allow any person around you to play games. Don't let them make you doubt yourself. Don't let their words, don't let whatever, their judgment, their criticism, their own insecurities, their own shit, don't let that bring you down. You are worth more. And that's what we discover when we go through this abuse and we recover ourselves and know our worth. Reaffirm our boundaries. Stay no contact from toxic people. You're worth so much more. So as you rise, crabs in a bucket are going to try and drag you down. People are going to criticize you because of their own shit. But you know who you are. You didn't just survive this bullshit. You thrived. You became a whole new person, a more powerful person, the better version of yourself. And don't let that stop. Don't let your connection with Source, with God, with the goddess, whatever it is, however you look at it. Don't let that become broken again. Don't let that. Don't lose yourself. Continue on. Sometimes we need to learn to be by ourselves and believe in ourselves and ourselves alone. And that doesn't mean that we're cold, doesn't mean we're unempathetic or we're not compassionate or we're not kind to other people. If anything, we can't help anyone unless we are strong ourselves. And at this point, we understand who deserves our help and who doesn't. Other people's trash is their own trash, not yours. So don't listen to haters. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Suffer no fools. Share this around for me. Let's get this message out there, brothers and sisters. My love to you. I'm proud of you. Thank you.